Money mistakes happen all the time, and you're not alone if you have a few financial regrets of your own. In fact, a recent Upworthy article titled "Millennials Nearing 40 Are Sharing Their Biggest Mistakes" documented some of the worst financial choices that America's largest generation made in their 20s and 30s. Now, this inspired me to do the same. How's it going, guys? It's Mike here. And in this video, I'm going to get brutally honest and personal with you guys and share the worst financial mistakes that I've made. And I've made some terrible ones. Now, this is going to get controversial, and I hope that I don't lose some followers. So stick around to the end to hear my biggest mistake, and let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment. Have you made any of these mistakes yourself or gotten close? Let me know. Mistake number one. Not quitting a job and seeking higher pay at another place of employment. Why don't you ask yourself, do you want a pay raise? Forget negotiating with your current employer. Sometimes the easiest way to get a jump and bump in your pay is to just find a new job. Now, according to Google, a good salary increase when changing jobs is between 10 to 20%. And the national average when changing jobs is around a 14.8% increase. As much as you hate to see it, employers are usually willing to pay more for a new employee than pay more to retain an existing employee. I spent 7 years of my life from age 18 to 25 working for the same construction company. I rose through the ranks and got many pay raises, but I was really frustrated the majority of the time that I was there because I was grossly underpaid. Most of the extra money that I made was because I was willing to work insane, crazy hours. Now, I would have been better served if I just switched jobs to get better pay for my labor. Nowadays, thanks to websites like Indeed.com and the internet, it's easier than ever to find high-paying jobs that you can just slide into. I wish that I'd been back there to give myself this advice in 2010, but I wasn't. Mistake number two. Limiting beliefs. Now, limiting belief is a state of mind or opinion about yourself that restricts you in some way. Everybody experiences limiting beliefs, but learning to identify them can help you proactively prevent these beliefs from hindering your financial growth or your personal growth. I told myself that I couldn't buy a house until I was in my mid-20s. Because who's gonna sell a house to a 20-year-old? Come to find out that apparently I can't be discriminated against based on my age. Who knew? And that if I met the lending requirements, I could have purchased my first piece of real estate years earlier. I'm talking like 7 or 8 years earlier, in 2010 or 2011. Coming out of the Great Recession, I could have swooped in on properties that were discounted like 80%, way under market value. I could have then ridden the sweet wave of appreciation and benefited from properties 4xing in value. But I sat there like an idiot, not knowing enough about lending, real estate, or house hacking to even try. I hate myself for a lot of things. Most of them involve the hairstyle I had in my teenage years and the pickup lines I thought were clever that I used on girls. But coming in at an easy third place is failing to try buying real estate at a younger age because I told myself I couldn't because I had limiting beliefs. Mistake number three, borrowing money to friends and family. Now, I came from the poorest of poor, at least as poor as you can be here in the US. I was raised on Section 8 housing, food stamps, free lunches, and WIC. Just by having a job at 18 and consistently bringing in a paycheck, I became the most successful branch of my whole damn family tree. And as the oldest of 6 kids with a couple of financially questionable parents, if we can call them that, that led to a host of various different requests. And that sometimes meant people needed money. Now, I'm not against borrowing money to friends and family. I'd be lying if I didn't say that one of the primary reasons I want to achieve financial independence is because I want to be able to improve the financial positions of those that I care about the most. However, I borrowed thousands of dollars to friends and family in my youth under the assumption I would be paid back. I thought that I was just helping them through a tough spot in a difficult time, and sadly, I was mistaken. If there's one thing that I agree with Dave Ramsey on now after my experience, it's that you don't lend money to friends and family. You give money to friends and family. And if you get some or any of it back, that's a good day. Speaking of Dave Ramsey, that leads me to mistake number 4. Listening to Dave Ramsey. Okay, wait, all right, hold on. Look, let me rephrase it. Dave Ramsey kept me out of debt. I was so scared of the debt boogeyman and what just looking at a credit card might do to me that I avoided any and all debt, which, you know, hey, that set me up to be more successful than most of my friends who took out huge student loans and got credit cards they racked up the charges on. So thank you, genuinely, Dave, for looking out. However, because I never got a credit card, my credit was never built. Over time, I've since acquired a few credit cards combined with multiple mortgages I have on rental properties. It's helped my credit considerably. But if you don't have at least a 760 score, you can't qualify qualify for the best interest rates on mortgages. And this is devastating to wannabe real estate investors like me. The next Dave Ramsey mistake I made was assuming that because I'd invested with one of his Smart Investor pros, I was setting myself up for a long-term financial success. I figured that was all I had to do. Now, luckily, I realized while still pretty young that I would need to use the Roth IRA supplemented and combined with a better retirement plan. Now, the Roth isn't even my option B, it's my option C. I agree that it's better than nothing, but it's not enough moving forward in present times for our generation. So don't get caught with a false sense of security thinking that an IRA or 401k is going to solve your problems. It won't. Be smarter than that. All right, before we get into mistake number 5, you need to understand that I'm not intentionally trying to trigger anyone. I'm speaking as a guy and as someone who has been through this personally. It's my job to be honest, transparent, and open about my financial journey. That's the whole mission of the channel and why I started this thing. So here we go. Mistake number 5. Marrying the wrong person and then getting divorced. Now, the most expensive, wallet-busting, life-changing, life-ruining thing that I ever did was marrying the wrong person. Now, I accept full responsibility. It was my fault. Nobody forced me to. I screwed it up all on my own. I should have run the other way many times. I saw the signs, the red flags, and I was warned, but full steam ahead I went, hoping that it would all work out in the end. How very romantically foolish of me. Oh, and here's a pro tip. Having a kid isn't likely to remedy a poor relationship. Now, that being said, I love my son to pieces, and I'm extremely grateful that he's in my life. But here are the statistics. About 50% of marriages end in divorce. With divorce comes the potential for alimony, child support, and split income. Now, maybe you enjoyed staying home with the kids. Now that opportunity is gone. You got to figure out how to provide for yourself and for your kids. So back to the workforce you go. No matter how you slice it, divorce ruins families financially in most cases. And don't forget the cost of the trial, legal fees, and the potential custody battle. It's all extremely pricey. Now, don't hate in the comments just yet. I'm not against marriage. I believe that it's the best way to raise a family and have productive, healthy children. But there's no doubt in my mind that marrying the wrong person has a high likelihood of slapping you in the face. So you need to be very careful. The advice I give my 19-year-old brother is don't even think about getting married or having a relationship until your late 20s. Build your financial foundation first. Get a good prenup and spend a lot of time vetting the right partner. Because if you get it wrong, you lose. And you lose bad. This is how poverty is perpetuated. Ideally, divorce wouldn't happen at all. But again, you might not be the one who gets to make that choice. Your partner can choose to divorce you, and you might not even have a say in it. The only choice you can make is to marry the right person in the first place. But everybody thinks they get it right. At least that's what they say at the altar. And at the end of the day, it's a coin toss. So good luck. Now, the good news is that if you do pick the right person, this can be the best financial choice that you ever make. I look up to my mentor, Mark, and his wife, Sonia, or Michael Zuber and his wife, Olivia, or the lumberjack landlord and his wife, the saint, who puts up with him because he's kind of a goof. Now, the right person is a game changer. These investors that I just mentioned, they have successful marriages, and that's given them the opportunity to make great investment decisions and tackle problems as a team. Maybe I'm gonna find the right person one day, and if not, hey, I've always got you guys, so at least like the video, sub to the channel for a chance to win a first date with your boy. All right, I'm kidding, I'm not giving out any dates here. I enjoy being single. Kind of. Fellas, I bring you these missteps, these mistakes, these embarrassing things that I did in my life that have hindered me, delayed me, and nearly derailed me from reaching financial freedom. I talk about them because I want to be honest with you, and I also want to see you be successful. So I'm going to leave you with a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, "Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to possibly make them all yourself." Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, I'll catch you next time.